What's up everybody and welcome to the Fight franchise, and a roadmap to victory we're going to be doing for a short notice fight that has come about between Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. Interesting bout, which is a rematch from UFC 295 at MSG last year, because Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler has fell through after all this speculation at UFC 303. This fight has come about on what they're saying is around 15 days notice. It may just be a little more days because the speculation has been going around for about a week now since that press conference fell through. So they were probably reaching out to Jiri, Alex and a bunch of other champions and saying, look, get ready, here's contractual terms. We need you to turn around on short notice. And he didn't turn around on short notice, but he did take the main event at UFC 300 on relatively short notice. I think it was 6 to 8 weeks maybe he took it on. And Alex Pereira saved the day again, face of the UFC at the moment. He's turning around in, 3 months to main event UFC 303 and International Fight Week. You know, if you look at this guy's recent resume, headlined UFC 300, headlined MSG twice, two-weight world champion, headlining International Fight Week. He is becoming a superstar of the mixed martial arts world. And if it's a sign to any other fighter, just be active and take fights. Look where it gets you. He's got charisma, yes. He's got an amazingly fun fight style. Doesn't even speak really much English. And look how much the fans have got behind him just because he's going out there performing and being active. That being said, we're going to be jumping in the corner of Jiri Prochazka. Jiri lost to Alex at UFC 295 at MSG, second round TKO, and we're going to try and see if we can help Jiri Prochazka with the roadmap to victory. We did this before, where Dustin Poirier faced Islam Makhachev, and we're going to see if we can find openings for Jiri Prochazka and help try and guide and coach him to a win. He's probably never going to see this video, but it's a fun thing to do and a fun way for you guys to interact and see where there can be openings for Jiri Prochazka to win. So for the Czech Republic fighter, we're going to be jumping in his corner and seeing what we can do for him. So, first fight, very exciting fight which was booked, and we have a bit of tape to work off with the first fight. And the first thing to kind of mention on behalf of Jiri Prochazka is he needs to manage the distance well. Alex Pereira, it was like 1 minute we were into that fight and Jiri was doing his, herky-jerky style, coming in and coming out. Alex Pereira landed one calf kick and that was it. Jiri just went to the ground. And it's like the power he has in these calf kicks and leg kicks, nobody can touch it. I don't know whether it's bone density, whether it's skill, whether he just hits that hard. No one can withstand this. And it was a problem for Jiri. He smashed his leg, his lead leg, and he smashed his back leg as well. He smashed both. And he just compromised him from the start. So the one thing Jiri Prochazka has to do is he has to manage that distance very well. He has to either be kind of in or out. He can't play the game with Alex Pereira because he's too elite of a striker. He needs to be able to be ready to check those kicks, or he just needs to be evasive enough where he's probably not got these high weight class guys. They probably don't have the speed to check it, but Jiri Prochazka is quite bouncy in his style. He's in, he's out, he's moving around, switching stances. So that will be key. He needs to manage the distance well and make sure, his legs do not get compromised one bit, because if Jiri Prochazka's legs go, it's kind of becomes a recipe for disaster. That's like anyone who fights Pereira. So if you can't check the kick to avoid the damage, just be out of range and just avoid those leg kicks. The other thing to mention, which isn't really going good for Jiri Prochazka, both these guys actually fought on UFC 300. Jiri went to war with Alexander Rakic, where Rakic, I'm pretty sure, battered him with leg kicks and also battered him on the feet. But Jiri just, bit down on his gum shield, toughed it out and, got the second round TKO. Alex Pereira fought on the exact same card and won in I think it was a 2-minute knockout. So in terms of damage and who's coming in fresher, it's going to be Alex Pereira. Even though he's rumoured to have a broken toe, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem for someone like Pereira, who'll just tough it out. He won't make really that much excuses. But if I was Jiri, you're already coming off a bit of a war. You need to avoid the damage, and you need to avoid those damage to your legs after Rakic smashed him. So I think 5 to 10 maybe leg kicks could compromise him badly. So he needs to be out of range and he needs to kind of avoid taking any damage to the kicks. The other thing that too is going to be key in this fight is foot position and kind of his footwork and kind of the stances that Jiri uses. If you watch the first fight between these two, when Alex landed the first kick, calf kick, which dropped Jiri was in an awkward position where he does a lot of these stance switches, but he was halfway between stance switches, so his body was a bit diagonal. And Alex just smashed him with the calf kick and he dropped him straight away. He needs to kind of, it's not be lazy, but stay in like neutral and safe position. Like, I don't know how to explain it because Jiri's got such an awkward style. He's got one of the most awkward styles in MMA history. Like, we've never seen anything like it. He's just a nutter. But his foot position and his stances are key in this fight, because if you watch that first ever leg kick that Alex Pereira knocked him with, he was like diagonal like this, like he was about to switch stances, and he caught him while he was diagonal because he was in range, and then chopped him with the leg kick Alex Pereira did. So he needs to stay in like safe positions. So I know Jiri doesn't do it much, but that boxing stance where it's either orthodox or southpaw, those diagonal mid-ranges or whatever, where, because Jiri does a lot of these diagonal things where he's like, I'm ready to spinning elbow, or I'm ready to throw some like mad uppercut. Like, he stands very diagonal on, where he doesn't need to do that. He needs to kind of stay centered, either orthodox or southpaw, because when he's diagonal, yes, it can cause amazing knockouts like against Dominic Reyes, because he's kind of diagonal ready to do the spin, or he's kind of ready to throw the big kick. But those diagonal positions, you're kind of giving your leg to him. So he needs to avoid that and just kind of stay centered on in neutral positions, which I would say are southpaw and orthodox. These crazy positions is where he gets caught, because he does a lot of it, because he does a lot of reaching with his legs if you watch him fight, with these long stances, because of his kind of samurai way, if you will. But he needs to avoid that because it makes him gettable. It makes his legs very gettable as well, which isn't good against someone like Pereira. That being said, you know, there's deficiencies in Jiri's leg kicks and, defense and stances. Pereira, you have to understand, he is gettable on the feet. And I am a massive Alex Pereira fan, even though I'm kind of roadmap to victory and we're backing Jiri, we're kind of coaching Jiri in the corner. I'm a massive Alex Pereira fan, and if you're an Alex Pereira fan, you have to be honest, his striking offensively is unbelievable. His striking defense is very poor, and he's very gettable on the feet. Every fight he's fought in at the higher level against like Blachowicz, Adesanya, Jiri even, Jamal, we didn't have a chance. But there was moments where he got pieced up and easy proved he KO'd him. So he's very gettable on the feet. Pereira's striking defense is very poor. If you watch him, he's reaching out to in the first fight with versus Jiri. He's there reaching out and trying to stop him. That's where you can land on him, and you can land some damaging shots. And Israel Adesanya, who's a weight class below, I know Alex Pereira was drained for that fight, but it's no excuses. Izzy knocked him clean out, and Izzy isn't as powerful as these guys at 205. Again, Blachowicz shows that against Izzy, but he was able to land flush. And the key with someone like Pereira is the shot that, and this is with most guys in MMA, it's the shot they don't see coming, which puts them out cold. If you can do that and catch him off guard, or when he comes on one of these blitz like he did against Izzy and catch him, you can put him to sleep. So don't be afraid to kind of trade with him in that sense, because even though he is one of the most feared strikers in UFC and light heavyweight history, he is gettable on the feet. His striking defense is very poor, and he is there to be hit. So that is a big advantage if you're Jiri. Another advantage for Jiri, Alex Pereira, though a brilliant MMA fighter and striker, he isn't the best grappler. That may be your key to victory. The first fight, Jiri dominated. I think the remaining 2 minutes of the round, they were striking for the first 2 minutes, and then the last 2 minutes 30, they kind of grappled, and Jiri was, I think, in mount or in his guard, and he was just landing ground and pound and elbows. It was once Pereira got to the fence, he could use the fence to kind of posture up and get back to his feet. So maybe grappling out in the open, early on, that could be an advantage to cause a lot of damage, because, he doesn't do, even Israel Adesanya, he out-grappled Alex Pereira. Jan Blachowicz out-grappled Alex Pereira. There's a deficiency there. Whether in the years now he's been doing MMA and training with Glover, he's kind of tightened that hole a bit more. Who knows? But the one thing's for sure, grappling is going to be a huge key to victory to tire him out. Because the second round, if you watch it, grappling, someone like Alex Pereira who's not used to it, will make him very tired. And you can gas his arms out as well. If you're just holding down, pinning down, and he's fighting to get up, it's going to tire him because they're muscles he's not used to using. Striking on the feet with him, he'll be fine. His cardio will hold up. If you get him to do something he's not used to doing, he'll tire faster. If you watch that first fight, once they get up after the first round, Alex Pereira, visibly, he throws some laboured shot and he's breathing out his mouth, and then the round ends. After some grappling, he gets very tired. So use that to your advantage if you're Jiri. Even if you're not grappling to do damage, grapple to diminish his cardio, because that's when you're going to see an advantage as well, because that's when his striking won't be on point and he'll throw those lazy shots like he did in the first fight. If you watch at the end of the first round, he's very tired and just throwing crazy shots and breathing heavy. So that's a huge advantage if you're Jiri Prochazka. Another thing, if you watch their first fight, the second round, Jiri had him backing up and just kept him. Jiri had success keeping busy on the feet. If you watch the second round of the first fight at 295, Jiri at the start of that first round is just throwing, and DC even says Yuri's just being the busy fighter, and that was making Alex uncomfortable. Alex likes to fight at a kickboxing pace and his own pace, but if you get him to fight at your pace, he struggles a little. And there's a moment in that second round, Yuri's pouring it on him, and then they stop in the center of the octagon. The minute they stop in the center of the octagon, Alex throws a leg kick, and then instantly Yuri's on the back foot because he stopped. You've got to keep striking, you've got to keep feinting, you've got to keep him thinking, and you've got to keep him busy. If Jiri doesn't keep him busy, that's when Alex can, land offense. The other thing that I saw in the second round, it was at that moment where after they had a huge exchange of combinations and then he stopped, Jiri likes to do this thing where he dips his head and comes up with these weird styles. Alex Pereira threw it was like a body kick, but it almost landed on the head of Jiri Prochazka in the first fight. He needs to be careful when he dips, because when he dips, he's susceptible to the head kick or even a flying knee, because Alex Pereira has secured one of them before. So that kind of weird dipping style, if Alex times it, Jiri's in trouble. So he needs to be very wary with that herky-jerky kind of style. The other thing to mention is be wary of when it's a break. Jamal Hill learned the hard way. There was a break in the action for a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, and the next thing you know, left hook, bang. So keep switched on with this guy at all time, because he can send your lights out at any moment, and even in close, if you watch the second fight, there was a moment where they're very in close, and you seem like you're safe. Where's he going to land? He's got this long frame. You'd think he'd like the long striking, but then just a short left hook, dropped Jiri, and then the elbows, kind of done Jiri in. So he needs to be careful at all kind of ranges. So you have to be switched on at all time, because even if there's a momentary lapse of just like, oh, well, where am I going to fight? And the next thing you know, you're out. So you need to be switched on 24/7 against a guy like Alex Pereira. Last thing I would say, take him to a decision. He is, if you look at him, his track record, he had a close decision win versus Jan Blachowicz, or could have gone the other way. This guy, if you're going to war with him, good luck. You can knock him out, but he can just as much as easily knock you out. Take him to a boring decision if you have to. I know none of us want to see that. None of us want to see. We want to see the best. We want to see a fight of the year contender, because this is capable of it. But Jiri Prochazka at the end of the day needs to win that belt, because he wants to be the best light heavyweight in the world and one of the best fighters in the world. To do that, you need to win the belt. Take him to a 5-round decision. Take him, grapple every now and then, clinch up against the fence, push him away, be weird, and because you can easily win a decision just by being busier than him. His success comes off damage in the criteria. If you look at the judging criteria, damage is when Alex Pereira is going to do a lot of his success. If you look at someone like Jiri Prochazka, he can win off control. So there's an easy way to win, an easy path to victory. You know, we're all saying once Magomed Ankalaev gets there, he's going to dominate with his wrestling. Just beat Magomed Ankalaev to it and just do it yourself. So that's another way that Jiri Prochazka can kind of get away and get a victory in this fight. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Amazing fight. Can't wait to see it. You know, Conor McGregor and Chandler fell through, and I'm going to give my thoughts of that in another video. But amazing fight. Can't wait to see it. What do you think? Roadmap to victory? Do you think the advice that I've given for Jiri holds up, or do you see another win for Alex Pereira? Let us know down your predictions in the comments below. Do you think Jiri can win this fight? Let us know that down in the comments below. Leave your like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more MMA and fight content coming soon. And we hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one.